if I was paying a nanny to watch my child and this scenario happened, I would want to know. And I'm so sad to report that I have another bad nanny story. I know that there's not that many bad nannies out there, but I just live in a dense area where there are a lot of nannies. So apparently I just see things. So I want to tell you about what happened the other day at the park. So we first get to the park, my whole family, my husband, me, and my 2 girls, and I was pregnant at the time. And we see this nanny, and I know it's a nanny this time because she has a hat on, and I'm going to give her name Kim. And her hat says Nanny Kim across it. So I knew she was the nanny. And her toddler that she was caring for, that was 18 months old, was having a major meltdown. It was a meltdown of epic proportions. We've all been there, we've witnessed. But the weird thing was that she was sitting probably like 30 feet away from him. He's like by this tree area, and then she's on these like tall boulders. She's sitting on top of a boulder and she's ignoring him. Okay, whatever, I can understand because I wasn't there to witness what had happened, but he didn't seem like angry toddler. He seemed like really sad toddler. So he's crying, he's screaming. It's like 10:30 in the morning. And she starts saying, "Are you done yet? Are you done? Are you done screaming yet? Okay, if you're not done, then I'll just bring you home and I'll put you in the crib and you can cry by yourself. Would you like that?" She's like yelling at him 30 feet away. Like it's not just me telling the story. She's 30 feet away saying, "Do you want to just go home and I'll throw you in the crib alone and then you can just cry by yourself? Would you like that?" Like, well, that'll definitely get him to stop. An 18-month-old. Like, "Oh, no, I don't want to go in the crib by myself and cry, so I'll just stop crying." Okay, so that doesn't get to her. She's just like having conversations on the boulder with another nanny, I assume, because it looked like somebody else that was caring for other children. And they don't seem fazed at all by her shouting at him and saying that. So that was the first thing that I was like, "Oh, this is kind of weird." Then the second thing, I think she just gets so fed up. She starts packing up the stroller. I didn't hear what she said to him or what they kind of decided together, but she starts putting him in the stroller and starts walking away with him. And at this point, we're probably like 50 feet away. I'm kind of closer to that boulder area that she was, and she's like on the other side of the playground. And she's like strollering him away, and he's still sobbing, and he falls out of the stroller. Thankfully, it was like just slightly bigger than umbrella stroller, so he didn't fall super far, but he fell out, and she just kept walking. And she knew that he fell out, but she was just like, whatever. I'm like, okay, you're not even gonna comfort the crying child that now has fallen out of the stroller. All right. And then she tries putting him back in the stroller, and he's fighting it. Obviously, he's having a hard time. And I'm like, seriously, I think this kid just needs like a hug and a reset. But I'm not the nanny. So she is trying to put him in the stroller, and the other nanny friend comes over, and they like strap this kid in. And I honestly was like, thank goodness they're leaving, because I'm having a hard time witnessing this. I know she said other things to him, but I can't remember them all, and so I don't want to make it up. So then they actually go, there's a bigger kid playground, a smaller kid playground, and then there's like a gazebo area where you can sit that's kind of by a pond, and a lot of ducks hang out there. They think they're going to be fed. And so we continue playing as a family, and 15 minutes go by, and we're about to leave, and my girls want to see a botanical garden, so we have to go across the smaller kid play area, across the gazebo, and up through an area to get to the botanical garden. We walk through by the gazebo, and she has him in the stroller in the sun, and granted, it was California, and it was like a warmer day. It wasn't super hot, but it was a warmer day. And she has him parked in the sun, and she's 25 feet away from him on the benches, just chatting with the other nannies and other nanny kids. And he's just sobbing in his stroller, facing out. Like, he's facing this way, and she's facing this way on the bench, just chatting with the nanny, and he's just sobbing still in the stroller. And she doesn't say anything to him at all in the few minutes that we were walking by, because my girls wanted to see the ducks, they wanted to see the pond, and I'm just like looking over, I'm like, this is awkward and like kind of disturbing. So then, I don't know why my heart's pounding. So then we go up to the botanical garden. We walk through the whole botanical garden. We come down. It's probably been another 15 minutes. And this poor kid is still sitting in the stroller in the sun, crying. And she's still at the picnic benches, acting like nothing is happening. She's just chatting with her friend. This poor little baby is in the stroller, distraught. And she doesn't care. And I realized, like, tantrums are hard. But now you've gone at least 30 minutes from the time I got to the park and saw the first scenario to the time I'm leaving the botanical garden is at least 30 minutes, if not 40. And I just feel like even as a parent, I wouldn't be able to do that if I was like kind of losing my mind. And let alone somebody that you are trusting all day, every day to watch your child, to take care of them, you're paying them, and they're just ignoring your kid. So I'm probably going to get all the busybody comments again, but I actually posted anonymously in a like a neighborhood group, and I was like, hey, if your kid is about this age old and you have Nanny Kim as your nanny, will you just reach out to me, because I just want to talk to you about something that happened today at the park. And again, I'm not judging whatever people decide to do. If they want to keep Nanny Kim, if they just want to have a chat with her, whatever. But I'm like, this just feels really off. And a lot of people said on the last Bad Nanny video that I posted that, like, what is happening when they're just alone with the kid? If this is happening in public, like there's people around she doesn't know and she's treating this child this way, like what's happening in the home? What's happening when they're alone? So I understand if you want to call me a busybody, but my husband thought this was awkward. I'm sure my kids felt uncomfortable. Like, this was not good. Okay? And again, I'm not spreading her name. I'm not even telling you where I lived or where I lived, what park I was at, nothing. So I'm not bashing this nanny or not letting her get another job, but the big PSA out here is make sure you know who you're hiring to watch your children. Check in on them. I mean, if they go to the park every day, go check in on them. Because I feel like after these 2 scenarios, or really like 5 scenarios with nannies at the park, just take a day off one day. Go check on them. See what they're doing. See if your nanny's actually interacting with your child. That's it. That's all for today. And hopefully I never have one of these again.